Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Horse Race Bets with Ken Rudolph, where we talk about all the news and notes and rumors and gossip and all the important little things you need to know in order to keep up with everything happening in the crazy world of horse racing. And there's so much fun. And there's so much money to be made. Hey, happy to be back with you again today. And things are super exciting here as we are right on top of our Triple Crown season. What does that mean? That means we've got about 104 days until Kentucky Derby number 151. And that means that all the connections, well, they're going crazy right now, just trying to get their horses in shape, right? Trying to get their horses experience. And most importantly, they're trying to get their horses enough points to be in the gate on that first Saturday in May for the Kentucky Derby. So that means that starting January the 16th, 17th, this weekend, all the way until April the 12th, that means that there are Kentucky Derby prep races every single week. And that means that there are really valuable points on the line. This weekend, it was all about the Grade 3 Lecomte at the fairgrounds, and that race featuring 20 points going to the winner. And then we start to move up and the races start to become greater in value and importance. And so our next chance coming up is really going to be interesting because they've made some changes with quite a few races that are in the Kentucky Derby prep season and the Kentucky Derby championship season. And so as we make our way into that particular part of the season, really great race coming up on January the 25th. That'll be next weekend. It's the Grade 3, now $1 million Southwest Stakes. And this is interesting because you're going to have a field probably maybe 6, maybe 8 horses, but it could be a really interesting showdown. Bob Baffert, the Hall of Famer who holds all the cards when it comes to Kentucky Derby, and now he's back in the mix after serving a 3-year suspension handed down by the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs. Well, he holds the cards with a lot of really important horses, including a horse named Gaming, who ran a great race in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile in November of 2024. That horse is supposed to be shipping out to Oaklawn, and when he gets there, Ron Moquett, who's a great trainer, is like, this ain't going to be easy, bro. You want to come here and get this cornbread? You better be ready to fight. So he's going to send out his horse by the name of Speed King, who's got really, really good speed. And Speed King was very impressive in his most recent performance to Smarty Jones. He had the lead, but he couldn't hold off Cole Battle. Cole Battle right now is one of your top point earners because he's been able to win a couple of races. So Cole Battle is going to be interesting later on. But coming up on the 25th, in that race, that is the Grade 3 $1 million Southwest Stakes. You've got Speed King, you've got Gaming, and maybe another horse by the name of Sandman could be there in the mix with those points on the line, and of course, a lot of money to be made there. Now, if you're thinking about what's happening with your Derby contenders, and you're following them on the trail towards the Triple Crown and the Kentucky Derby, watching in their prep races, you have to think about the end goal, right? What's the end goal here? The end goal is to find a horse, 3-year-old, that is going to be peaking on May the 3rd. And then the second goal is to do what? You got to get value. And the one way to do that is the future wager pool. Now, pool number 3 opened up on Friday, and it will continue until Sunday. And what you're trying to do is simply what I said. You're trying to identify horses that you like or that you are projected to like on May the 3rd, but your concern is that you're not going to get value on that particular day, so you want to lock in the value right now. There are some risks involved. Like once you place that future wager on that future wager pool, you can't get it back. There's no refunds. Even if your horse is injured or scratched, you still don't get that money back. They just remove that horse from the list of entries there in the future wager pool. So what you're trying to do is be smart, and not just smart. You're trying to be Nostradamus, all right? You're trying to figure out, okay, who is going to get bet on Derby Day? Do I think that horse can win? And what do I want to get as far as odds? What's fair for me? Well, the number one thing you want to use the future pool for is to get value on horses that are going to get bet. And the first place to start is the guy that holds all the cards, Bob Baffert. He's got at least 6 contenders you can think about. But if you really like, let's say, Citizen Bull, who was extremely impressive in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and has shown that he's a horse that when he gets the lead, you're not going to pass him. That's going to be a problem. And everyone knows it's Bob Baffert, and he's back. So his horses are going to get bet on Derby Day. Citizen Bull, right now, in future pool number 3, is 30-1. 30 to 1. That's crazy. Let me give you an idea just how crazy that is. If you want to go back to 2005 or more specifically 2004, so that would be the future wager pool for the Kentucky Derby coming up in 2005. At that time, I had a horse that I liked by the name of Giacomo. Giacomo had a lot of promise, and people could see he was, chasing and making up ground on these speed horses as a closer, but he just couldn't quite get there. But we're all projecting, and he has great pedigree, and so everyone's like, yeah, Giacomo. Giacomo was 25 to 1 on the future pool. 25 to 1. Citizen Bull is a horse that won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He's 30 to 1. So if you think that horse is going to continue to get stronger, right, get better, be able to deal with the speed that's going to tackle him, no doubt, in the Kentucky Derby out of the gate, then 30 to 1 is outstanding odds. You need to go there and lock that in before those odds start to come down. There's also other horses if you think about that. So if you think that you want to get Citizen Bull at 30 to 1, right? Now, the other horse that's like the number one choice in the future wager pool is Bob Baffert's other horse, the $3.2 million purchase by the name of Barnes. See, but Barnes, he's going to get some play because he's the hot horse. And the way he debuted over the surface at Churchill Downs will really go a long way toward convincing bettors that he's the horse you have to watch and have to play. Now, he hasn't had an X start yet. I would suspect to see this horse coming up in the Robert B. Lewis, which is in about 2 weeks in Southern California. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where that horse shows up. Now think about this. It's Bob Baffert. The horse won his debut at Churchill Downs. He's a $3.2 million purchase. If he wins his prep race, there's absolutely no way you get 10 to 1 Derby day on a horse like Barnes. So you want to lock that 10 to 1 in that you're probably going to get. He might go down maybe 6 to 1, but that's still better value than you're probably going to get on Derby day. So that's kind of the reason why you even want to mess with these pools, right? Even want to think about it. You just want to see if you can outsmart the rest of the bettors. And that's what it's all about in horse racing. I'm right, you're wrong, pay me. That's the whole concept, and you just want to continue to maximize that. Be advised, the third of these 6 future pools will close on Sunday. You'll have 3 more chances to lock in some really impressive odds if you can, and then try to make that money coming up on May 3rd. All right, that's projecting what's coming up down the line. Let's focus in on what's coming up right here, right now, coming up today. Hey, great action with our friends at Santa Anita on Sunday, and they have extended, of course, their card going into the weekend because they lost a whole week of racing due to the fires in Southern California. Good to see all the people able to get back to work. Hundreds of people that live in the area and work at Santa Anita track back out there working. They've got a great card coming up on Sunday and a nice card on Monday. But we're going to focus in on a couple of graded stakes events coming your way on Sunday. They are back-to-back races, 8 and 9. The Grade 3 La Cañada, mile and a 16th over the main track. Then you have the Grade 3 Las Ciénegas, 6.5 furlongs downhill on the turf at Santa Anita. Both these races, I think, are interesting. But we just mentioned Hall of Fame trainer Bob Baffert. I don't care where he has a horse, he is always the man to beat. And I love him. Like, he's a friend of mine. I think he's a fantastic person. Always been fantastic to me and my family. I love starting with him because I feel like, okay, either I'm going to single Bob or I'm going to try to beat Bob. All right? So when you get to a situation like these big races coming up at Santa Anita, well, you're thinking, okay, how do I beat Bob? Well, you start by thinking about the horses coming in, and then I choose to go to the hot rider. So I'm going to beat Bob by focusing in on the hot jockey at Santa Anita. His name is Umberto Rispoli. He's an outstanding rider, and he's winning at better than 22% right now. He has a chance to beat Bob Baffert in the La Cañada. Bob's going to send out the speed to the outside, Cavalieri, and that horse is wicked fast. And I'm pretty sure that I've always made this joke that Bob has with all of his jockeys. I think he says to them, hey, get out of the gate on top or don't come back here. Now, I know he doesn't say that, but I really feel like it's implied because his horses always have speed. It's natural speed, then it's trained into them, drilled into them, and then by the time they get to the gate to go race, they are ready to go. So Cavalieri's going to pop out of there like a house on fire. Sorry, no pun intended. I'm going to take that back. He's going to pop out there like he's really ready to rock. And then he probably might get tackled by a couple of horses to the inside. I think it sets it up beautifully for the number 4 horse. Number 4 horse is by the name of Musical Mischief. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus in on playing the late double in those 2 races. Musical Mischief is the number 4 horse in that first leg. We're going to single that horse with Umberto Rispoli. The horse loves the mile and a 16th. The horse will be coming from just off the pace. But as I mentioned, we know that the 6 to the outside is going to go. I really think the 1, 2, 3, they all have speed. I think 2 of them will decide to get froggy and challenge Bob. And that's all that the 4 and Umberto Rispoli will need to make that move from off the pace. And I think you'll get great value in that first leg. So that's kind of the key to everything that we're doing there, is beating Bob Baffert in race number 8, the La Cañada. And if we do that with Musical Mischief, we're going to get paid, because then we roll into the second part of that late double, or second part of that double. Not the late double, second part of that double, races 8 and 9. Now you have a horse to the inside that's probably going to be your favorite as they go 6.5 furlongs down the hill in the La Ciennegas. It's a grade 3 event on Sunday at Santa Anita. That race has a field of 9. The inside horse is named Just Nails. He's probably either going to dictate the pace, he's going to be probably your favorite, maybe your second choice, and he'll be right there in the mix. So we're going to use that horse because we've already achieved what we wanted in the first leg. We need value. We get that by beating Bob Baffert in the first leg. So if we have the favorite in the second leg, it's okay. But we're also going to use the hot jock. Umberto Rispoli, is using a horse to the outside in Miss Tizzy, I do believe is her name. And that's a runner that is really going to be interesting because they'll be sitting just off the pace. Just Nails goes out there, right? Gets challenged. They're moving a little bit too fast. You've got speed to the outside, like a horse named Hamwood Flyer who wants to go. If they push it a little bit, maybe Just Nails gets caught in some traffic up to the inside. Here comes Umberto Rispoli with the 9 to the outside at a price. They're probably about 7, 8, maybe even 9 to 1 post time. And if that comes through, well, then you're just in a great spot, right? That is how we make money at this game. You have to find ways to beat the favorite, or if you need to use the favorite, then you open it up in the other legs. So that's what we're going to play. It's our best bet on Sunday. It's a double. Races 8 and 9. Single the 4, Musical Mischief, then roll right into that second half using Just Nails to the inside and Miss Tizzy to the outside. And if that works out, let me see if I can start doing my math here and counting all the money that we're going to make. So I'm saying carry the 2. Yeah, Miss Lizzie to the outside. That'll be very, very interesting. So that's how we play the game. Hopefully, you're tracking all the Derby horses. I'm going to continue to give you all the inside information that I have. I text message with all of the people that I know. I talk to them about what their horses are going to do. Talk to the jockey agents about what they're planning to do. Finding out all the little rumors, gossip, innuendo. And you can use all that in addition to your personal hunch. Don't forget about your heart and your head, right? Put them together and you can make all kinds of money. And until next time, we'll see you on Horse Race Bets. I'm Ken Rudulph. Good luck and enjoy.